Okay, I got some great tips, high yield for step 1. 3-month infant, emergency department due to vomiting and irritability. This vomit is green. Okay, and there's abdominal distension, and then there's dilation of the stomach and the proximal duodenum. Now let's get right into this. What is the answer choice? It's going to be the abnormal rotation of the ventral duct. And let's figure this out, okay? We're going to ask a couple of questions to help us rule out things. First of all, is the vomit bilious? Is the vomit bilious? If it is bilious, then that tells us that the issue is going to be down here. And so we can rule out two things, pyloric stenosis and esophageal atresia. Why? Because those things happen above this papilla, this major duodenal papilla. Because here the bile is coming and it's in the tube. If you're stenosed up here, doesn't matter, you don't have any bile to come out. 2, does the baby have jaundice or do they have pale stools? Why does that matter? Right? If yes, they have jaundice and pale stools, then you think of biliary atresia, not annular pancreas, right? Because the jaundice would be some biliary atresia here and it would leak back out and you have some pale stools. But if it's annular pancreas, then you wouldn't see that. Next, is there a double bubble sign? A double bubble, you classically think of duodenal atresia, linking it to Down syndrome, but you can also have a double bubble in annular pancreas. It's just not linked with Down syndrome. So that's my last question. Down syndrome associations, yes or no? So lastly, what, if you do see bile, would you have on your differential diagnosis? Well, annular pancreas, of course, because that's duodenal obstruction below the duct. It's going to cut off right around here due to that bud issue. And duodenal atresia, that's the double bubble on the x-ray, so it would be down here in the duodenum here, but it's going to be atresed after this major papilla. Malrotation of the midgut volvulus is a corkscrew sign, and so the midgut is down below, and same with jejunal and ileal atresia. The ischemia, the vascular incidents in utero that happen, they're all distal to this major duodenal papilla, and so you will see that bilious stuff. So here we go. Talking about this stuff, ventral pancreatic bud forms the uncanate process and main pancreatic duct. The dorsal forms the body, tail, and most of the head of the pancreas. Normally, the ventral rotates behind the duodenum and then fuses with the dorsal. An annular pancreas is an incomplete rotation, so it wraps around the duodenum forming a ring, and it happens above the major. If it happens above, then it's non-bilious, and if it happens below, then it is bilious. And so you see that double bubble narrowing of the second part. Pancreatitis could be a complication, duodenal ulceration. Failure of esophageal proliferation, esophageal retrieval would be no bilious. And so if you choke and drool, then that would be that one. Fibrous obliteration with the biliary tree, that's biliary atresia. So that would cause the jaundice and the pale alcoholic stools in the first 2 months of life. And you don't see the bilious, the jaundice, think biliary atresia. Hypertrophy of the pyloric stenosis. Well, olive-shaped mass, but it's non-bilious, right? Because pyloric sphincter is going to be above that. And it's vomit that's forceful. It hit the wall. Incomplete obliteration of the elantuous, that's urachal remnants. And so here, the persistent umbilical discharge, that'd be a urachal remnant and incomplete obliteration here because it connects the bladder to the umbilicus. And if that thing is not gone and obliterated, you can just pee out your belly button hole. Cause of the neonatal GI obstruction is definitely going to be annular pancreas. So if this is helpful, like and subscribe.